Good morning, ma'am. I'm
Hi.
Anushka.
Good
I'll be
morning,
taking
Anushka.
interview today. So let's just begin with your introduction. You can give your name, what you're doing, and a little background check.
Okay, so Anushka, my name is Sonal Bhavsar and I'm an image consultant. I work with people to help them manage their image through appearance management and soft skills training for their personal, professional, and social roles of life to achieve their desired goals.
Okay. And your background, how did you come up here?
So it's been 12 years that I'm practicing as an image consultant, and in fact I'm one of the first image consultants of Vadodara. Before joining this industry, I was working with Jet Airways as an in-flight crew, flown both domestic and international destinations, and I was also face of Jet from Chennai.
Okay, great. So what kind of a training does your occupation, mainly consultancy, require? What skills?
To become, if I talk about back then, when I'm talking about 12 years pehle, we had to undergo like the entire program, and the span of the program, the duration was 1 year. So I did my image program for 1 year. Then I took a sabbatical, and then after that I did a special program on soft skills training and train the trainer, which are accredited by NABATE.
Okay.
So that's the kind of training, and it's a very rigorous training. When I joined this program, I thought that I've worked with airline industry, I've worked in hospitality, I've worked with the Taj Group of hotels also. I thought that this is going to be something which I've already learned.
Right.
But when I went through the entire program, I realized that it's not like a routine program that a normal institute offers.
Right.
Here we were taught that clothes, yes, they are an art form, but there is also a science behind clothes.
Right.
So that is why it is it's a rigorous training, but at the same time there is a lot of fun element that is associated with the entire training, because you're working with clothes, the details of the clothes, the design elements, the principles of design, the proportions, the body proportions, the clothing proportions. So yes, it's a combination of hard work. The program, it's a combination of hard work, practice, and experience.
Right. And how is it different from what is required today?
In terms of
skills to get into the industry.
to get into which kind of industry?
Consultancy.
So how is it different now? So now the program is actually, now they have also reduced the duration, so which I did in 1 year. Now you can finish off like in a fast track thing in 6 months also.
Okay.
And then back then I didn't have a very specialized soft skills training, so I just had to go through 1 year image program, and then when they started with soft skills, then I went through soft skills training. But now the students are given the options before joining the program only, that if you want to go for the image program or soft skills or train the trainer or all the three. So that way it's very easy for them to kind of understand how to go for it.
What is your favorite part in being a part of this industry?
The favorite part is that I meet different set of people every day. My client ranges from school children, college students, homemakers, people traveling. There's a lot of travel happening, so they want to discuss clothes related to their travel. I'm doing a lot of styling for events right now. I am also doing a lot of corporate trainings. I go to a lot of colleges to conduct programs on confidence building and making the students ready for interview. So it's a very versatile industry wherein you can choose whatever you want to do, and there is a lot of things, there are a lot of things that you can do. So that's the kind of work I do.
In your opinion, what are the most critical aspects of this industry?
The critical aspects, right? See, this is a need-based industry.
Right.
People will come to you if they have realized that they have to manage their image.
Right.
Now we are, so earlier it was very difficult for us. I'm talking about maybe, till 10 years. People never used to understand what is image, what are we doing. They always used to take us as someone from graphic, like who is into graphical designing, or people who are into photography. But now I think that is very easy, because now people know, they're aware of image management, and there is a lot of resources. There are a lot of resources available online for them to understand what is image management. The only thing is, like I said, it's a need based industry. So unless there is a need, the client is not going to come.
Yes. Right.
But again, now what I have realized, not only when I'm doing consultations for my individual consultations, one-on-one consultations, I am getting inquiries from corporates through LinkedIn profile on image training, which never happened.
Right.
Earlier, people always used to invite trainers for soft skills training. But now, the industry has opened in such a manner that now we get invited to talk about clothes, to talk about formal attire, to talk about the appropriate attire and how to make the employees look attractive.
Right.
So there are, critical aspects, but it all depends which time zone we are in, in that.
Course.
But definitely need is the most important factor.
So since you're a consultant working with some designer, how do you create that synergy between you and the designer?
So, as an image consultant, we can work together with fashion designer, and we work with, together with fashion designer. As an image consultant, and that is one of my fortes also, I study a lot of fashion designers, the kind of work they do and what do they specialize into. Now, when a client comes to me, or when a client is going for, suppose the client wants to be wedding ready or haldi ready, and they come up and they ask me that what kind of clothes do they wear, and when I do their analysis in terms of what is the occasion, what is their personal style. So this is something, again, a very important thing. When I analyze their personal style, whether they like classic stuff, they like dramatic stuff, they like something which is very very sportive or very sporty. Accordingly, then, and if the client says that they are looking for some designer stuff, accordingly I try to match the personal style of my client with the style of the designer, what the designer specializes in. So that is the kind of synergy. I hope all the designers understand that this is a very important aspect of an image consultant, and this is how we can work together. Secondly, when I am doing evaluations of my client, which involves body shape analysis, which involves personal coloring evaluation or face shape evaluations, and when I'm suggesting them something, and if I know that the designer, this XYZ designer, is famous for, suppose, pastels, or is famous for rich tones, jewel tones, then accordingly also I can direct the clients, or we can have that meeting with the designer. Third, I'm also a personal shopper, just personal shopper. Therein I have to study a lot of market, local, as well as, because I do travel out, so sometimes a client asks me to shop if I'm traveling. So then I have to study the kind of requirement my client has and what is going to be available in that city or locally with the designers. So both of us actually work hand in hand, and it's not like that we are taking their, or we are going to substitute them, or they are going to substitute us. It's both the two industries are very different in their aspects, but yes, we can work together. And in fact, now we have started working together, because now, especially in Vadodara, there are a lot of designers who are aware of the kind of work I do, and when I take my clients, I think it is very easy for them also to show my client the right kind of the stuff, and finish that decision making to buy that garment, which was taking maybe 1 hour or 2 hours or repeated visits, is now finished maybe the same day.
And how do you deal with criticism or someone not liking the analysis you're doing for them?
So actually this doesn't really work in my field. The criticism doesn't happen because I work or I customize the services, I customize the products as per the client's need. So like I said, there is a detailed process. So first, when I meet a client, I do their evaluation, which we call as image evaluation. What is the need? That itself takes around 2.5 hours. And if I'm not satisfied what the client needs or what I have to offer, I would request the client to meet again. Once that is done is when I prepare in discussion with the client what we actually want to do together. And then when the process starts, my first two sessions that are actually kind of very important, and they're kind of mandatory sort of a thing for all my clients, and they are sessions on understanding the lifestyle of my client and personal style. So जब मैं वो दोनों चीज़ें पता कर लेती हूँ कि क्लाइंट का लाइफस्टाइल क्या है, उनका क्या रोल है, सुबह वो उठते हैं से लेकर रात को कितने बजे सोते हैं, कहाँ कहाँ जाते हैं, जब जाते हैं तो what all clothes are they wearing in their different roles. So I get that information and then I work with their personal style, which is itself like almost a 3 to 4 hour process. उसके बाद में the client understands that it's not about a consultant's liking. It's about what the client likes. So if I'm suggesting my client, so after whatever the client has chosen, if I'm recommending or if I'm giving them some recommendations, if the client is not liking the recommendations, I will discuss it with the client and give them a lot of options. But I do request them to try it once. But there are a lot of options given to them in terms of colors, in terms of silhouettes, in terms of fabric, everything. Footwear, hairstyles, makeup, everything. So that usually is not a problem.
Usually there's a good agreement between
absolutely without because that is why that is actually the prime role of an image consultant. It's not about what I am going to like on my client, it's about what the client, because at the end of the day, if the client is not comfortable on what he or she is wearing or what message the client wants to communicate through appearance, then the client will never be happy and will never be comfortable in whatever clothes or whatever, however I make him or her look. So that is why that's a very important aspect of image management.
And lastly, what celebrity has your favorite style and why? Any role model, anyone you look up to in the industry?
So see, I have different role models. And why I tell that I have different role models, because I always believe that there are a lot of celebrities, or there are a lot of people who are very good in their respective styles.
Of course.
Okay, so if I have to talk about, for example, somebody who looks very classy, whose personal style is also very classic, and if I have to look very classic, then probably somebody like maybe Shabana Azmi, who has always looked very classic in the kind of fabric she chooses, the way she dresses up. Even in Baroda, if I have to talk about somebody, I mean not only celebrity, if you are open for that, even Mrs. Tejal Amin, she wears as per her lifestyle, her personal style, and the role she plays in her life, and she looks so elegant. So that is a classic example of classic dressing. If I'm looking for somebody who's very dramatically dressed, but still looks very stylish, then probably she could be Deepika Padukone. She is stylish and she can look very dramatic also. If I have to look for someone who is very delicate in style, then she could be Dia Mirza, because she comes across as a very, very delicate person. and the kind of fabrics and the design elements she chooses in her outfit.
Right.
Then, do you want to ask for men also?
Yeah. Any.
So in men, I've always liked Mr. Amitabh Bachchan as a very classic personality. Classic personality when you look at him. Also the kind of clothes he wears. He's always classic. If I have to talk about somebody who's very dramatic, could be Ranveer Singh.
Yeah.
So he's very dramatic.
Yeah.
Then maybe, lot of, in fact, male celebrities, they are sporty, the kind of footwear they wear. So there is a different range of, celebrities who can fit into different, if there is a continuum, if I have to fit people as per my liking, so I'm going to fit them on different ranges, in different areas. So Arjun Kapoor, for example, looks very sportive.
Yeah. Right.
Varun Dhawan looks very sportive. Mr. Modi is an example of, Mr. Narendra Modi is an example of a classic looking person who wears classic stuff. So that's what I believe in. I mean, I don't want to fit in one person in all the ranges.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So this is kind of the end of the interview. If you have anything else you want to share with us, any questions from your end?
No questions as such, nothing. I mean, if there is anything you feel that through this interview you want to communicate to people, then I'm ready for that.
The whole point was just giving an idea to the people of how different people working in the industry work together, and they come up with an ultimate outcome of either an outfit or a look or a style. It's just that.
Nothing, but it's one thing which I can communicate probably is that image consultants are not fashion designers. We work with people to assemble their look as per their style, as per their beliefs, but most important, how do they want to feel inside and what do they want to communicate through their appearance. So as an image consultant, we don't work like like a magician की image makeover कर दिया किसी को overnight stylish एकदम stylish बना दिया. That's not how we work. And that's not right also, because that's not a sustainable thing.
Exactly.
So we work on the outside, but it has to be in sync with the inside. Then only it is sustainable. That is why the client is going to be comfortable, and that is why I said that we work in personal, professional and social roles of the client. So then there is a synergy.
Right. Yes, of course. Yes, thank you so much. This was
Pleasure,
amazing.
Anushka. Thank you.
Yes.